Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
You have been waiting on it all year. Now it's your chance to make this Christmas better than ever. Get the extra cash you need with a Make This Christmas Better loan from the GUT Credit Union. Get up to $50,000 to celebrate your Christmas and make your holiday dreams come true. Home improvements, new furniture, a vehicle, debt consolidation, or even a vacation. We can help you get there. Yes, you can. Make this Christmas better with the GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good evening and welcome to the GBN television news for today, Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. In the headlines, political leader of the National Democratic Congress says government's grandiose promise to public officers will have to be seen. Agriculture Minister plans to reduce the annual $300 million food import bill. Education Minister Emmeline Pear plans to expand CVQ skills training opportunities for the year 2022. Tonight's GBN Health focuses on the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron. Coming up in regional news, new COVID-19 regulation in Guyana requires all vaccination booklets to have an official stamp. And on the international scene, Germany announces nationwide lockdown for the unvaccinated. Coming up a little later in sports, Stephanie Taylor jumps to 9th in batting rankings. The details of these and other stories are straight ahead.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Thanks for joining us with the news in detail. I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh. Good night once again. Top story tonight, reminiscing on the structural adjustment program and the attrition policy in 2013 to 2021, whereby public servants demanded their salary increases. NDC's Deacon Mitchell recalls the bitter battle that ensued. Now, miraculously, 2 years into a pandemic and reductions in government's revenues, Mitchell says the NNP administration is paying a Christmas bonus to public servants. Mr. Mitchell is concerned as to whether government will truly honor these promises.
According to NDC's political leader Deacon Mitchell, an estimated $23 million wage bill for public officers, minus pension, will have to be paid before Christmas. Despite being refuted by government officials as not being a gimmick, Mitchell says he finds it hard to believe when considering the circumstances involved.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance has put out a circular number 21 of 2021, and it says this regarding one above, and the one above is quoting what the Minister of Finance said in Parliament. The Royal Grenada Police Force and the Ministry of Health are kindly asked to submit by Friday, 5th December, which is this Friday, the categories of all such workers who would qualify for the additional 1 month's pay.
During the budget presentation, Minister of Finance Gregory Bowen announced an extra month's pay for frontline public officers who faced the brunt of the pandemic. Other public officers were not left out of the benefits as a half month's pay was promised.
So I ask yourself this question: who is determining whether a police officer was exposed to the risk of COVID-19 or not? Who is determining whether a doctor or a nurse was exposed to the risk of COVID-19 or not?
Noting the target date for payments being December 16th, Mitchell says the fine print says otherwise.
It says regarding two above, the criteria for qualifying for an additional half month's pay is currently being developed. Let me repeat. The criteria for qualifying for an additional half month's pay is currently being developed, and payments to all qualifying workers will be made during the first quarter of 2022.
NDC's leader impresses that while police officers, due to the pandemic, have had to work around the clock on the front line and issue passes, only an extra payment is expected.
How do we reward the police officers? Merely by a token 1 month's pay? Merely by a token 1 month's pay when the government is fully aware that the pay scale for police officers have not been adjusted since 1995.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Reducing the annual $300 million food import bill will be of major importance for the Ministry of Agriculture next year. Minister Peter David says they are focusing on a number of areas that are geared toward ultimately decreasing the nation's dependency on imported products. Here's Gerard Joseph with that story.
Making strides in the development of the livestock sector, according to Agriculture Minister Peter David, will be one of the primary focuses in reducing the food import bill for Grenada. The minister says Laura in St. David will become the hub for livestock farming.
A massive cleanup of the premises is currently taking place. We are restoring the pastures, restoring the health of the animals, and renovating the buildings and refencing the area because we want Laura to become the center for livestock development in this country. Goat, sheep, pig production will be done at Laura.
Maximizing the relationship with St. George's University and its livestock division, Minister David notes, will be pivotal to their goals.
We must work with them. In fact, a meeting has been set up, if not this week, next week, with St. George's University to discuss a memorandum of understanding with them with respect to livestock development. We must increase our breeds. There are sheep and goats in the world that are much larger than the ones we produce. We can substantially reduce the importation of meat if we develop our livestock industry.
Livestock research will also be prioritized at Laura, where Maribor becomes the home for research for plants.
We have an arrangement with Caribbean Agro. My dear brother Dabrio spoke about it many times. We have to find a way to correct that. If we do not correct that, we will not be able to break the back of that food import bill. $30 million a year is spent on importing poultry.
The Agriculture Minister highlights that the poultry subsector remains a challenge in terms of the price for feed, despite Cabinet establishing a committee to find solutions.
We may be able to research and find that there are other things we can produce in Grenada that is of high value. Because of the small nature of our society, we need high value products. So we are going to be working with them on that. We believe that Maribor should be the home of a research facility. We are therefore working with the Indian government through the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. We are working with the governments of the People's Republic of China.
Minister David adds that expanding production via increasing the acreage for agriculture in a number of areas by 400 acres will also be key in 2022. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, the political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Deacon Mitchell, however, believes not enough has been budgeted for agriculture. He says while the NNP administration has boasted that $35 million was allocated for agriculture, the actual figure is just $19 million. Gerard Joseph tells us more.
Minus the allocations for feeder and farm roads, NDC's political leader Deacon Mitchell says a mere allocation of $19 million by votes, which equates to just 1.4% of the $1.3 billion was given to agriculture. Mitchell says they find it shocking that in response to a global pandemic that heightened global food prices, tripled freight, and disrupted the supply chain, so little attention is paid to food security.
You can contrast that with the percentage allocation for concrete, drains, roads, buildings. Citizens of Grenada, we cannot eat the road. We cannot cannot eat the concrete drains. We cannot eat the buildings.
NDC's leader says Grenada runs the risk of starvation and destitution if resources are not put into agriculture, food security and nutrition. He says despite the talk of programs to develop livestock and reduce the massive food import bill, proper planning with set targets have not been done.
When you have a budget that doesn't say, for example, by 2025, we want to be in a position where whether it's in absolute numbers or percentage, we want to have, for example, 10,000 more cattle on island, or 10,000 more goat or sheep or rabbit or whatever. You will not achieve it because you have no goal. So just merely saying you want to increase livestock is a bland statement that is not focused, and you therefore don't actually plan to achieve it.
Mitchell says to seriously tackle agricultural development, the government plus stakeholders must first quantify the goals to be achieved within the sector.
If, for example, we want to be in a position where we actually consume a certain percentage more of chicken or rabbit, we have to set that goal. The population has to be aware of it. And then we have to take the measures that will ensure that we are doing so. So if we take cattle, for example, you have to be able to identify the areas in which we can actually develop for cattle. The government, for example, has large estates. Was there any conversation by the government in saying we've identified one or two large estates, we will turn those estates, for example, into cattle or into mixed use between cattle and plants with the view that by at the end of 2022 we have 500 herds of cattle? No, that kind of conversation doesn't take place because it is not taking place.
For any form of development, NDC's political leader reiterates that actual data and targets must be had to ensure sustained improvement. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
This is GBN Primetime Edition of News. Coming up, Education Minister plans to expand CVQ skills training opportunities for the year 2022. Stay with us. More news is next.
It's the season to give, and Grenlec invites you to give a gift of love and light to someone in our community who has been challenged by COVID-19. Make your account current and nominate someone for a chance to win. 200 winners will be gifted with a $400 grocery voucher or a $75 electricity voucher. If we select your entry, you too will win. Visit our website or Facebook page for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion runs November 24th to December 24th. Give a gift from Grenlec this holiday.
Light up your Christmas with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. Find fantastic deals on Saturday, December 4th at Republic House Car Park on Morris Bishop Highway from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 100% financing for new vehicles, same day approval. You can drive away with a brand new ride. Light up this Christmas with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. For more information, visit us online at republicgrenada.com.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Please be advised that our office has been relocated to Steele's Commercial Complex, Grandance, St. George. We at CGI, Consumers Guarantee Insurance Company Limited, look forward to serving you at our new location. Call us on telephone number 440-0217 or visit our website www.insurecgi.com.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Ariza Credit Union wishes you a joyous and peaceful Christmas. May you and your loved ones continue to be safe as you enjoy the festive season.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Ariza Credit Union, your financial freedom, your future.
We're here to make you happy, 'cause that's what we do.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere. Register now to get the Grenlec app release date and enter to win $100 credit towards your bill. Terms and conditions apply.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Light up your Christmas with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. Find fantastic deals on Saturday, December 4th at Republic House Car Park on Morris Bishop Highway from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 100% financing for new vehicles, same day approval. You can drive away with a brand new ride. Light up this Christmas with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. For more information, visit us online at republicgrenada.com.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to the news. 3 men charged in connection with the seizure of 364 pounds of cannabis were remanded to the Richmond Hill Prison and are due to reappear in court on December 10th. Clydon Osborne, a 43-year-old fisherman, Vincentian, presently residing in Willis, St. George, 42-year-old Victor Vespri, a fisherman of Bellevue, St. David, and 38-year-old Anthony Simmons, a mason of Vincentian, residing in Tempe, St. George. They were all apprehended after officers attached to the drug squad unit intercepted a fishing boat vicinity of Cabbier Beach in Crowshoe, St. Andrew on Wednesday. The men, who have been charged with the offense of trafficking in a controlled drug, made their first court appearance at the Grenville Magistrates Court today. They were remanded to the prison and are due to reappear in court in 8 days. In other news, the Ministry of Education will continue to focus on various aspects of the educational sector and make the necessary changes needed to deliver a better educational platform for students. So says Minister of Education Emmeline Pear, who outlined her ministry's plans for the year 2022 with skills training set as a priority. Rena Pear-Thomas has more in this report.
Minister for Education Emmeline Pear says her ministry will continue to focus heavily on skills training in schools throughout the state of Grenada, as they will be offering a variety of CVQ certificates in different fields. This is important as the demand in the skills sector increase, not just in Grenada, but around the world.
Mr. Speaker, the issue of skills training, we are expanding that within our secondary schools. And Mr. Speaker, that has to be an area of top priority as we look at the role of TVET and skills training in the transformation of our society. Mr. Speaker, very critical for this government's agenda of transformation. Mr. Speaker, we are expanding the number of schools that are offering CVQ to our students for all levels and interests of our students as we continue in the new year.
Minister Pear, in her contribution to the 2022 budget presentation on Tuesday, also announced that plans are already in place to not only offer this training to students, but also communities, generating jobs and reducing the unemployment rate.
But Mr. Speaker, not just at our schools, and I've always said this, 2:30, we shouldn't be closing schools. 2:30 is when the people who year, we have been piloting in communities as it relates to offering opportunities, people who are employed, people who are unemployed, to take advantage of how can I acquire a skill? How can I be certified? How do I develop the competencies so that I can create employment, I can generate employment, but I can be self-employed? And so, Mr. Speaker, we forged...
The ministry will also undertake an intense review of the island's curriculum, as they will be undergoing the training and development of curriculum officers.
Mr. Speaker, of course, training and development of curriculum officers would be a critical focus as we go into this new period. Greater support for teachers on the ground would be a critical focus in the new year, and our curriculum officers have been challenged in that regard with their new terms of reference. Mr. Speaker, we must review the number of compulsory subjects that every student is compelled to do at the beginning of their secondary school life. We must review this.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
And now it's time for our weekly GBN Health feature. This week, Krista Campbell turns the focus on the new COVID-19 variant.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Brentwood, and Central Deputy Street, Guelph. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
A new coronavirus variant was detected in South Africa by scientists on November 24, 2021. Classified as the highly transmissible variant of concern, the now named Omicron has caused panic across the world, with many nations shutting their doors in a flashback to the early days of the outbreak of the pandemic.
We shouldn't need another wake-up call. We should all be wide awake to the threat of this virus. But Omicron's very emergence is another reminder that although many of us might think we're done with COVID-19, it's not done with us. We're living through a cycle of panic and neglect. Hard-won gains could vanish in an instant. Our most immediate task, therefore, is to end this pandemic.
Experts say viruses constantly change through mutation, and new variants of a virus that arise from these mutations are expected to occur over time. Multiple variants of the virus that causes COVID-19 have been documented globally during this pandemic.
As the pandemic continues, variants have become the latest concern, with notable examples detected in South Africa, Brazil, and the UK. But variants are complicated. Each one is made up of a collection of mutations, all of which have the potential to change the SARS-CoV-2 virus in unexpected ways.
As the new COVID-19 variant Omicron strengthens and migrates across the world, several nations imposed travel bans and restrictions on countries affected by the disease. Persons with a travel history in the last 14 days to Zimbabwe, Botswana, Lesotho, and Eswatini will not be allowed into Grenada. The advisory was announced last Friday by the government of Grenada and takes immediate effect. Meanwhile, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said on Wednesday that it has confirmed the first U.S. case of the Omicron strain of COVID-19 in a man in California who had returned from South Africa on November 22nd. According to the World Health Organization Director General, the COVID-19 Omicron variant poses a very high risk of infection that could have severe consequences in some parts of the world.
The emergence of the highly mutated Omicron variant underlines just how perilous and precarious our situation is.
For this week's health update, I am Krista Campbell reporting.
we go to Rena Perry-Thomas for today's Social Buzz, as she has been looking around the platform.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz report.
The Mitchell versus Mitchell election battle has seemingly begun in earnest. This as Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell launched a few jabs at recently elected political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Deacon Mitchell, during the budget debate on Wednesday. GBN brought this story and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Marianne said, PM, you are wrong on this one. Deacon did a job in his private capacity. He is not obligated to give back anything. It's like asking someone to give up their salary just as they got paid. Maybe we can ask the same for ministers of government. This should not be made a political issue. The people's business is too important. Icon Boss commented, the PM is intimidated by the young man's ability, hence the mudsliding. This is a weak political tactic, but I am not surprised. He does this all the time. Kireen Jolly wrote, the man has done nothing wrong or unethical. His job as a lawyer is to represent the interests of his client to the best of his ability. His duty is to apply a fee for the legal service provided. The client has a right to accept or refuse the price offered. I wish we can stop the character assassination and go back to the days of addressing issues of national importance. And finally, TD Andrew commented, what nonsense. We're not interested in the mudsliding. Please stick to the issues affecting the country. People aren't only hungry close to election. Grenadians shouldn't be victimized and forced out of jobs because they call the government out of unsavory behavior. There are various individuals who have experienced this. Government should welcome critics as this is the only way to be sure there's room for improvement. That's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
And coming up after the break, Sagicor adopts Victoria School for Special Education as one of several institutions across the Caribbean as part of its community development initiative.
Super Sunday! Sunday, December 19th is Super Sunday in Grenada! Wow! And this year, it's gonna be online with a whopping $20,000 US. Yes, you heard right. $20,000 US to be won. Just get a ticket for only US $20 and you stand a chance to win. Get your tickets now from numerous box offices island-wide in Grenada. If you're playing overseas, tickets are only available at gotofed.com. Sunday, December 19th is Super Sunday. Join the fun and excitement online. Play Waggy T Virtual Bingo and win cash this Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
When shopping for Christmas, Calico is the place to go. Enjoy the shopping experience. One-stop shop. Always low price. Supermarket, home center, and hardware. Located at Gladstone Road, Grenville, St. Andrew, Main Street, Sauters, Lower Depredin Street, Guave, and Frequente, St. George.
Let's get tough on breed your larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, 400 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the farmers, don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop radio larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report radio larceny, call 300.
Get vaxxed, hey, hey, vaccinated. Get vaxxed, hey, hey, get vaccinated. Vaccinated. So wear your mask, wash your hands, and practice social distance. This is we chance to advance. Come let we fight this COVID at once. So come on let we fall in line. We want to come back to with social
This is a message from the Grenada Red Cross and the Ministry of Health.
Looking for a professional team offering around-the-clock, private and confidential nursing, medical care, and aid services? Then look no further. Nurses Care Grenada is a fully certified, insured, and licensed healthcare facility committed to the reduction and eventual elimination of healthcare disparities affecting the nation. Our registered nurses will visit you at your home, assess your condition, and provide the required treatment under the directive of a doctor. So why worry when there's Nurses Care Grenada? Give us a call, 406-3928. Nurses Care, reliable, trusted professionals we can all depend on.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 GB daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 GB daily to like more TikTok videos. It's simply more entertainment bundled together. Get a 7-day bundle for $35 in My Digicel. More apps, more data, more fun. Digicel, better together.
Introducing Color by Seasons. 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 Color by Seasons.
Welcome back. Minister of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, Delma Thomas, has welcomed the promised increase in social protection allowances. Here's Christelina John with the details.
From January 2022, householders who receive seed benefits will have an increase of $150. The increase for seed beneficiaries, according to Social Development Minister Delma Thomas, does not include government's temporary support of $10 million under the COVID-19 economic stimulus package.
I'm pleased that over $40 million have been allocated to preserving and expanding social safeguards. Of this $40 million, Mr. Speaker, $19 million will be allocated to some form of housing assistance.
Minister Thomas says despite the first COVID-19 spike last year, government has not halted their support. Other initiatives were also laid out, which include the Needy Assistance Program, Elderly Program, Home Improvement, among others.
And so over the years, we had $13 million. This year will be similarly like last year when we saw an increase of in excess of $18 million. But Mr. Speaker, we also will be expanding on the amount per household. So a house can get up to $150 more than what they were getting last year. We recall, Mr. Speaker, that the maximum a household would get would be $500. Now a household can reach up to $650. And the elderly homes will see increase in what they're giving.
Also in 2022, the minister promised that the Chinese low-income houses will be distributed, 500 of the 647 housing units.
22 will see over 500 houses under the Chinese low-income houses will be given out to several needy families. We have completed works in St. Patrick, and St. Mark. These two sites are already completed. Kareku, St. David, and St. George will see completion in the first quarter of next year. And so, Mr. Speaker, needy families who are looking for housing will get real houses in 2022. And so I commend and I thank the people of the People's Republic of China for continuing to provide assistance to the government and people of Grenada. I also want to thank the Ministry of Works.
Christelina John, GBN News.
As part of its corporate social responsibility program, Sagicor has adopted several schools across the Caribbean to give back to the community by shaping lives through support and much-needed assistance. One of the schools that will benefit from this initiative is the Victoria School for Special Education. Here's Rena Perry-Thomas with that story.
8 primary schools were adopted for the new school year, which began in September, with the program set to conclude in July 2022, after which a new cohort of schools will be chosen. The initiative, which only targets government aid schools, aims to create a sustainable program that can positively impact the educational experience for the future generation while providing tangible and intangible resources to the schools. Tasked with the management of the program is Keisha Brathwaite, who gave an overview of the project. She spoke of the 4 fundamental pillars the program stands on.
So in each of the areas, or whatever work that we're going to be doing, rather, will fall under one or more of these pillars. And the 4 pillars are: we have to impact the school's physical environment, we have to impact the health of the students, we also impact developmental and educational programs as well, and then finally safety. And I'm kind of going into a little bit more detail about each of these. So physical environment, as I said, it really speaks to, again, creating a sustainable educational facility that can have a lasting impact at each school. And that also speaks to, donating those tangible resources. How can we uplift the physical environs of the school?
Schools were selected from several nominations submitted by Sagicor team members in each territory, with the final schools chosen by staff committees who conducted a period of review and shortlisting. One of the schools benefiting from the program is the Victoria School for Special Education, which was selected out of 7 nominations in Grenada. Brathwaite identified other schools that were selected throughout the Caribbean.
In Barbados, we have 2 adopted schools. We'd started with Workman's Primary. We kind of wanted to continue doing the work that we'd started there. So we have Workman's Primary and St. Martin's Mangrove Primary School in Barbados, both under the pillar of physical environment. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have the Mundo Nuevo School, a small school in Talparo. Their pillar is physical environment as well. In Belize, we're adopting the St. John's Primary School under the pillar developmental and educational programs. In Aruba, we're adopting Colegio Santa Familia under the pillar of physical environment and safety. And in Curacao, we're adopting Colegio Don Sarto under the developmental and educational programs. And in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're supporting the Evesham Primary School under the pillar of physical environment, developmental and educational, and safety.
President and Chief Executive Officer in the Caribbean, Robert Trusrill, reminded students that they can do anything they put their mind to.
Dream big, dream bold, and dream often. That's what life's about. My second piece of advice: achieving that dream starts in your head. What does that mean? It means how do you think about yourself is very important. What you think about your talents and your skills is very important. If you tell someone and yourself that I can do this, that will help you get it done.
The program, which will be an annual event, will cost more than $50,000, which does not include other contributions that will be made. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
And now let's take a peek through the GBN EyeSaw lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN EyeSaw is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Gifted and talented are just a few words that describe our citizen journalist who built 2 camera stabilizers. A camera stabilizer is a device designed to hold a camera in a manner that prevents unwanted movement such as shaking. Our EyeSaw reporter stated, quote, "I did it, and anyone can do it," unquote. We thank our citizen journalist for sharing this masterpiece. Continue to send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us. The weather, sports, regional and international news are all up next.
Gifts of love with dread, bringing love for you this year. Communion show with that weekend, with gifts of love with dread.
We're bringing you gifts of love with cheer at the communal. This Christmas, we are your Santa. It's all about sharing the warmth of this season with those you love. Get in on this special loan, taking advantage of great interest rates with no principal payments until January 2022. Share the gift of love. Make it a merrier Christmas with the communal. Exciting prizes for members throughout the promotion. For we are your Santa this Christmas. Offer ends January 31st, 2022. Lending terms and conditions apply.
Communion show with that weekend, with gifts of love with dread.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Granville, and Central Deputy Street, Wharf. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
This is the public weather forecast for the state of Grenada. Tonight's minimum temperature 23.5 degrees Celsius. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy with occasional isolated showers, becoming fair by early morning. Winds will be east-northeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas moderate with waves up to 7 feet in open waters. A marine advisory remains in effect. Tides are currently low and will be high at 3:48 a.m. On Friday, sunrise is at 6:14 a.m., sunset 5:42 p.m. The weather will be generally fair at first, with cloudiness increasing during the afternoon, with a light to moderate showers mainly during the night. Into the weekend, Saturday, the sunrise will be at 6:14 a.m., sunset 5:42 p.m. Weather will be fair to partly cloudy with brief light to moderate morning and late night showers. Then on Sunday, sunrise and sunset 6:15 and 5:42 respectively. Partly cloudy weather is expected with increased cloudiness during the afternoon with moderate showers. And that's the weather report and forecast valid for tonight and the next 3 days. Stay tuned. Sports is next. evening, sporting fans. Once again, we bowl off with cricket. West Indies captain Stephanie Taylor and opener Hayley Matthews both moved up in the women's ODI rankings following the recently cancelled Women's World Cup qualifiers. After leading the West Indies to a 6-wicket victory against Ireland on November 24th in Harar, Taylor moved up to 9th in the women's batting list while holding on to 4th place in the all-rounder rankings. Matthews, meanwhile, climbed to joint 8th in the all-rounder rankings. South Africa's Lizelle Lee is leading the batting rankings with 761 points ahead of Australia's Alyssa Healy. Still in cricket, De Silva came to the crease with Sri Lanka only 23 runs ahead with 3 wickets down and their most experienced batter injured and unavailable to play. By the time his work ended on day 4, Sri Lanka were 279 runs ahead with 2 wickets still in hand in firm control against the West Indies. At the close of play on day 4 of the second test, De Silva completed his 8th test century as he was 153 not out of 259 balls, put on 78 alongside Patham Nasanka to rescue Sri Lanka from immediate peril, and made 51 with Ramesh Mendis during a second session in which West Indies spinners made a 4-wicket charge. The Windies will be kicking themselves for letting the situation slip after having surged through the middle session and having kept the opposition in check even before lunch. Sri Lanka had begun the day still 3 runs in arrears and with 2 inexperienced batsmen at the crease. But heading into day 4, heading into day 5, the 5th and final day, they are leading by 253 runs. And finally, only 3 West Indies players have been retained by teams in the Indian Premier League ahead of the upcoming mega auction. The window for the franchises to retain players for the Vivo India Premier League 2022 season closed on Tuesday, and Kolkata Knight Riders kept all-rounder Andre Russell and spinner Sunil Narine, while Mumbai Indians are holding on to all-rounder Kieron Pollard. A total of 9 West Indies players have been released. They are Chris Gale, Nicholas Pooran and Fabian Allen from Punjab Kings 11, Dwayne Bravo from Chennai Super Kings, Shimron Hetmeyer from Delhi Capitals, Evan Lewis and O'Shane Thomas from Rajasthan Royals, and Jason Holder and Shafan Rutherford from Sunrisers Hyderabad. And that's all the time we have for sports right now. Regional and international news are up next. Tonight's One Caribbean hookup begins in Guyana, where the updated COVID-19 regulations for December issued this week now mandate that any hard copy or digital proof of vaccination must include the official stamp of the applicable country affixed. We get more details in this report.
A required official stamp on both hard copy and digital proof of vaccination was added to the COVID-19 regulation made under the Public Health Ordinance published in the Official Gazette. Regulation 19 in the Gazette directly states that where vaccination is a requirement, proof of vaccination shall be in English or a certified translation into English, and may be in digital form or any other form provided that the form is identifiable and includes the official stamp of the applicable country. Minister of Health in a recent interview noted that persons with unstamped vaccination books can have their books, once it is authentic, officially stamped at any vaccination sites across the country. Over the past few months, holders of vaccination books have been caught with blank and unstamped COVID-19 books. These booklets are the proof of vaccination issued by the Ministry of Health when an individual receives a COVID-19 vaccine, but several persons have been illegally obtaining, forging, and selling these blank booklets. The Health Ministry in October revealed that some 10 cases of forged vaccination books are being investigated, adding that forgery is an offense and persons caught with such act will face the law. The ministry is also considering digital vaccination booklets. For the first time since the outbreak of COVID-19 in Guyana, the Central Board of Health has assumed full responsibility of issuing and managing COVID-19 regulations, taking that power away from the Minister of Health, in keeping with the 1934 Public Health Ordinance of Guyana. Meanwhile, the 12 midnight to 4 a.m. curfew remains in effect until further extension or termination. The other measures in the COVID-19 regulations restrict social gatherings and stipulate specific requirements for the operation of gyms, restaurants, and cinemas. Additionally, the measures have remained unchanged for essential services to operate 24 hours a day, and these include hospitals, pharmacies, and hotels, among others. Reporting for the AGP Nightly News, Joel Vogt.
The Ministry of Education in Jamaica has announced that more schools are to reopen for face-to-face classes. On November 8th, some 376 primary schools were allowed to reopen for face-to-face lessons, while permission was granted for high school students in grades 11 to 13 to return in small groups to complete lab and other practical assignments for their external exams. This week, the Education Minister said another 383 of the larger primary schools have been approved for reopening, but must use the blended approach, which is a mix of online and face-to-face classes. Details in this report.
More primary schools are expected to reopen soon following Cabinet's approval, allowing students from larger institutions to return to face-to-face classes. Education Minister Favour Williams says it's part of the phased reopening of school.
A total of 383 primary schools are approved for the next phase of face-to-face learning. As I said, these schools are our larger primary schools, some with their enrollment above 630, while others are occupying 80% or more of their capacity and will account for some 164,000 students.
Earlier in November, a select number of primary and infant schools were allowed to reopen after more than 18 months in the virtual classroom. The Ministry of Education says in the first week, schools saw a 66% attendance rate, while in week 2, 80% of students were back in the physical classroom. Minister Williams further reported that there were 3 confirmed cases of the coronavirus among students and at least 2 suspected cases among staff. High schools that have met the 65% vaccination rate requirement have also been given the green light to resume face-to-face classes. The parliamentary opposition welcomed the announcement, citing that the low transmission rate is because of the safe reopening of schools. However, there is worry about high school students who may not be able to return to school physically because of the low vaccine take-up. The schools are expected to reopen after consultations with parents. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
And moving internationally, Germany is set to ban people who are not fully vaccinated from shops, pubs, and restaurants in what has been dubbed as a lockdown for the unvaccinated. Here's CNN with that story.
They are losing patience with people who so far have refused or have not gotten vaccinated yet. And so therefore, the lockdown measures that were announced today, those tougher restrictions, they essentially count only for unvaccinated people. And one of the things that's being sort of talked about here in German media and in German society is that this is essentially a lockdown for the unvaccinated. Now, unvaccinated are essentially being locked out of all businesses except for the most essential ones, like, for instance, supermarkets and pharmacies as well. But you're also, for instance, talking about recreational indoor sports facilities, indoor clubs, and things of that nature as well. Also, on top of that, the Germans are saying that above a certain infection rate, things like discos and bars will also be shut down in the areas where those high infection rates exist. The German government is saying, this is Angela Merkel and her designated successor, we of course have a new incoming government here in the next couple of days. They are saying they want more people to get vaccinated, also put forward a real really ambitious plan as well, because one of the ways that they want to come to terms with this latest massive wave of infections is more vaccinations and more booster shots. And they say they want to administer up to 30 million shots, that's both boosters and first vaccinations, before the end of the year. And finally, Becky, and this is really something very important and certainly a big change in tone among German politicians, both Angela Merkel and her successor were saying that they are open and in favor of mandatory vaccinations. Now, of course, a touchy subject here in this country. They say they want the German government to draft a law. They want the ethics committee of the German parliament to then talk about it and give recommendations, and there could be a vote and mandatory vaccinations here in this country come February. So we're certainly seeing a big change in tone here in this country, and certainly a big, I wouldn't call it a crackdown, but certainly a lockdown, if you will, for unvaccinated people.
And that's it for regional and international news. A recap of the headlines is up next. And now let's look back at what made the news tonight. Political leader of the National Democratic Congress says government's grandiose promise to public officers will have to be seen. Agriculture Minister plans to reduce the annual $300 million food import bill. Education Minister Emmeline Pear plans to expand CVQ skills training. Opportunities for the year 2022. Tonight, GBN Health focuses on the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron. In regional news, new COVID-19 regulation in Guyana requires all vaccination booklets to have an official stamp. And on the international scene, Germany announces nationwide lockdown for the unvaccinated. In sports, Stephanie Taylor jumps to 9th in batting rankings, and that was in the sporting segment. That's the end of GBN News for today, Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Blossom Alexis-Welsh. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thinking of what the perfect gift will be this Christmas? Gift yourself or a loved one with a mattress from